for visiting. I truly enjoyed our talk.
Likewise.
How was your trip?
Hate it. Everything I want is here. So, where are Marguerite and Fanny?
Out for a walk.
Here. I know things are tight for you and Marguerite and Fanny. That should help cover some expenses.
Where did you get it?
A friend, Mr. Wedgwood.
You borrowed more money?
Well, I'm borrowing from him to pay another fellow. It all goes round and round, it seems.
Thank you, but no. I have my own circle to worry about. I'm not feeling well tonight. I'd like to be alone.
You're not feeling well? You don't look ill.
Nevertheless.
It's cold out tonight. I was rather hoping you could bundle up next to the fire.
I'm sorry. I should have sent a note.
What exactly is bothering you?
I'd rather not say exactly, if you don't mind. I'm uncomfortable is all the information you should require.
Perhaps a walk would do you some good.
No.
But I miss you, Mary. We've not been together for several days now.
I am not feeling well.
But I miss you.
You said that.
You look fine to me.
Godwin, what is the matter with you? Are you implying that I'm somehow being dishonest? That I'm not really sick?
No. But the thought does occur to me that one might exaggerate a symptom in order to avoid something else.
What? Never mind. Just go. Get out.
Without even a hug.
Get your hands off me. Get out. Get out.
Mary, please. Been
Leave.
thinking about this for days now.
What do you mean this?
I've seen you.
I am no this, you despicable low-life brute.
I know, I misspoke.
Leave me and take your lecherous notions with you and never bring them here again.
Mary, stop.
Get out! I despise you now. You make me sick. Sicker! Leave!
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
Whatever you do, do not tell me it was love.
But if it was, shouldn't I?
When you love someone, you care more about their feelings than you do your own. Just now, you showed me no consideration whatsoever.
But what about when I consider my feelings, my desires for you? Is that not love I feel for you?
God, I am really not up for this discussion right now. We can talk about it later. But I do know one thing. There is a distinctly obvious difference between physical lust and emotional love. Which one of these holds the tightest grip on you right now?
I understand, I think.
Good enough.
Is there anything I can do?
No! William?
Yes, dear?
I have a very delicate matter I need to discuss with you.
What is it?
I have a situation.
What, a job?
No, not a job.
Well, the notion's not entirely inconceivable.
A very poor choice of words.
Come on, inconceivable? You don't mean.
I do.
Are you sure?
Dr. Poignard, or as I prefer to call him, Dr. Dirty Hands, has confirmed it.
I see. When is it due?
Sometime in September.
I don't understand it. We followed the manual precisely.
It doesn't matter now. What is done is done.
Doesn't matter. For 100 years, people have been following the instructions in Aristotle's masterpiece to avoid this very situation. It's criminal, a book of lies, publishing rubbish in the guise of
it's wrong to publish false knowledge. However, presently that should not be our first concern.
I shall not forget it.
And while we're on the subject, how do you know that everything you publish is true?
I check the facts.
Some, perhaps, but the rest you manufacture by reason.
I do not manufacture my philosophies. I follow the facts to the inevitable conclusion.
And what will be the inevitable conclusion with us? You have written that marriage is folly. I have written that I desire equality and independence above all else, so where does that leave us? Sticking to our principles, we can never marry.
Correct.
So I don't know what to do but write. I must write to earn money for my children, and that is what I intend to do.
And I think you should know that although I consider myself a successful, hard-working man, I can barely support myself on what I can.
I'm not going to ask you for any money.
But I know you can't possibly support 2 children on as little as you earn as a writer.
I do get some money from Fanny's father, but it is way past due. I expected it 2 months ago.
I see. So England remains part of your life after all.
No, no. Godwin, do not even pretend to think I still love him. It is over, and we are over and done.
It was just this time last year you talked yourself off the Putney Bridge because of it.
A madness beyond my comprehension swept through me then, but it will never happen again. I am not the same woman.
I'm sorry I mentioned it.
As Fanny's father, he deserves rights to her. But I do not think he will use them. He is more concerned about his reputation than her well-being.
And now it's my reputation at stake.
Yours?
Ours!
But yours is the first you think of.
And of course! Oh, dear.
Oh, dear is right. You may well first think of yourself, since I am to blame for all this. Made you love me. William, I thought we were good for one another. We want the same things. I thought we were meant for one another.
Mary, when I said my reputation, I was referring to my publications. I agree that as an unwed mother, society may be cruel to you. For that, I'm truly sorry. But when I was referring to my reputation, I was referring to my publications. You've never written anything so strongly suggesting the abolishment of marriage as I have. While you may agree with my views on marriage, you've never stood up against it.
Never stood against marriage? I? No. Only all that happens after marriage. After marriage, when dominance and submission are in play. After marriage, when all property, rights, works, accomplishments are turned over to the male, the husband. No, I have never flatly stated that marriage is wrong, but I have written that it is an unequal and unreasonable institution, unfavorable to all women. And you think marriage will not bring me shame? They will call me a hypocrite as well. And you know this, Godwin, if we were to ever marry, the stain on my reputation would last for the end of my days. As for you, the man in our union, you will be applauded for your sentiment, or for doing the right thing, or perhaps just the opposite. They will admire your conquest of me.
I need a pencil and paper.
What do you want me to do about it?
I've been wrong. Reason is not the answer. I have been wrong. We've been wrong.
Godwin, what are you thinking?
What I'm thinking is to make sense of life, of living for everyone. I follow the dictates of logic and reason, which are both far off concepts as far as the planets, all the stars, all open-ended. I've just realized, because of you, because of us, everything is different. The world is not as it was. Our love, our closeness, our sensual affection, not being far off, being close, costed chemical and physical transformation in our very being. We two became one. united. Whether perfect or imperfect, the moment our lives intertwined, we were changed. I now know why you are more important to me than all the people in this world put together. That is what I'm thinking.
Yes. By all means, get it down on paper.
It means I'll have to write a retraction, perhaps even a revision.
And while you're writing your retraction, what do you suggest I do?
Finish your novel. The wrongs of women.
Yes, but what about our more immediate concern?
Anything you want, my dear. I'll do all I can to support us. And as if I won your heart the way you won mine.
Godwin, I have a confession to make.
Go ahead.
This is going to sound awful after everything you've just told me.
What?
I am currently in arrears on my rent. The next time you see me, I may be on the street.
Is that all? You scared me there for a bit.
Is that all?
Well, I thought you were going to say you didn't love me or something.
Are you sure you still want me to say that I love you after everything I've just told you? I have no money. You have no idea how hard that is for me to admit to you right now. I have no money.
Neither do I.
That's just great.
Well, fortunately, we both know people who do.
I'm having to avoid such friends already. I despise being poor. Was I rescued from the river just to raise my children in a world of humiliation and poverty?
The river. Let's look at our lives in a new way. My new philosophy. Consider this. When you threw yourself into the Thames that night, you threw your old world away. It all washed away. And now I have a new world, and I want you to have mine.
You give me your world. Where will you live?
That no longer matters. I only value your happiness.
Do not stop there. Say something else.
There's nothing more to say.
Then I will say something. Will you marry me?
Yes. Yes.
But that is not the way of your world, remember?
It's no longer mine. I gave it to you.
Then I accept your proposal.
Thank you.
To all the world's surprise and astonishment, they married on March 29th of 1797. The assertrix of female rights has just given her hand to the balancer of political justice, is the way Mr. Facili announced the news to Mr. Roscoe. Later that spring, my parents settled in Somerstown. Mr. Hallcroft's book apparently was lost in the move. Ignoring all the sarcastic jokes and jabs, they decided to host another party and celebration.
Thank you for coming. A pleasure. Look here in the kitchen. We have a lovely view of the courtyard.
Oh, I see. I love a view. And what a large room. I love a large kitchen.
Yes, we may make it our main dining area.
Not when we're entertaining, of course.
Why? Would you ladies object to eating in the kitchen?
Don't ask them that.
What did I say now?
Gracious, you really are married.
her study is right in the other room over there.
Really?
I'll show it to you later. It's a bit of a mess right now.
Oh, an orderly mess, I'm sure. I work the same way.
And where is your study, Godwin?
2 blocks down. I found separate quarters right in.
Oh.
Being around each other all day is too distracting. It's not conducive to creativity.
Sometimes I'm not even allowed in at night.
I don't believe that for a minute.
If he behaves himself, I let him in.
I manage.
Things have all worked out. Though when I first introduced you, I never saw this coming.
I'm as astonished as you. Godwin was the farthest man from my mind whenever I thought about a future love.
Well, that's the nicest thing I've heard all day.
You are a very fortunate man.
I know. Excuse me, I have to check on Marguerite and Fanny.
Thank you, dear.
My pleasure.
I'm so happy that you both could make it. I'm surprised my friends haven't attended by now.
I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you this, my dear, but a few ex-friends have deliberately chosen to stay away. I'm sad to say that your marriage may have diminished you in the eyes of some snobbish types.
Is no one else coming?
We are here.
A toast. To those who have abandoned you, what the hell with them?
That explains it then.
What?
Godwin and I found ourselves sharing a box seat with Mrs. Inchbald in the theater. Not a word was spoken. She didn't even acknowledge our presence.
That's just childish.
Associations matter, Mrs. Hayes. We have to admit that.
They do. I admit it. And Mrs. Inchbald is friends with Mrs. Siddons, and Mrs. Siddons, is she coming? She too has connections to consider. She will also drop me.
Oh, Mary, I am so sorry. An actress dropping you? Unbelievable.
The two of you, you have no idea how much your presence here means to me.
Oh, I cannot imagine not being here.
Your getting married, you see, only confirmed that you were not married before. Something which many who were close to you thought, but never, myself included, never talked about. You were Wollstonecraft, then Imlay, and now Godwin, and to them, the name Imlay was misleading.
To think, I was more concerned about the Lady Pinkerton types who flirt with Godwin right in front of me as though he was still unattached and our marriage meant nothing.
That woman has always been that way.
With married men,
She flirts with Godwin?
right in front of me.
Oh, how insulting.
Truly.
And I do not even think Godwin is aware, is so oblivious, so innocent.
Hammer cheese in?
No, thank you, dear.
No, he's aware.
Is anyone going to eat any of this?
I just need to rest for a few minutes, but please do help yourself.